hear from Dr. Liliana Warner, who's a favorite person for me. She has been a chiropractor. You'll tell your little story. I tell your story to introduce, but I know that we reached out to you. You were pretty early. I want to say within the first year or so of your practice,
Mhm.
and I know you have tons of stories, and everybody is going to be thrilled. It's always fun to hear from a chiropractor with your level of credibility, what you think and what your experience has been with these products. Take it
Thanks,
away.
Sherry. Yeah. So I've been in practice almost 16 years, and I've been using Nikken in practice actively with patients for most of that time. I started out just by having the water in my office and then helping people acquire systems for their homes. So I'll start talking about that. So as a chiropractor, it's one of the biggest things we talk about is hydration, because really hydration is key for optimal health overall. And as a chiropractor, I'm really looking at, we'd really like to help the body thrive, not just survive. So water is key, truly key. And so it's not, we're not having simple conversations about water like you need to drink more water. We're really talking about water, and we're talking about what kind of water matters and what we're looking for in water. And after Sherry introduced me to Nikken and I really started researching what the best options out there are, I kept coming back to Nikken. So for me, it was a gimme. And even over the years, as I've seen other products come onto the market, I haven't seen anything compare in price and quality. So we still use it almost 16 years later. And the main reason, of course, the quality of the water, but also a lot of it is that when people are unhealthy, they are unaware of their body and what's happening inside of it. And so oftentimes people who are really ill feel like they don't like drinking water. They don't enjoy water because they're literally not feeling what it's doing for their body. And I find that that's the main difference that I see with patients in Nikken water. With the PIMAG water, what we call living water in Nikken, really does give life back to the body. And we see, kids who won't drink water at home come into our office and run to get water at the water filter, at the water system, and, ask if they can have that at home. And, kids will tell you exactly what they think of something. So we know that's real. And, and adults who aren't big water drinkers will say, oh, I actually don't mind drinking this water. And over time, they really grow to like it. And that's when we know their body is really transforming, because they can sense that change in their system. So I really, for all the obvious reasons someone would choose a filtration system of any sort, plus the added bonus of what the PIMAG water offers in additional benefits, plus the fact that it really does feed your cells in a way that you can feel and taste, where other systems don't. So I think that it speaks for itself a lot on that front. Anything else you want me to add on water, Sherry?
I think you did an
That's
awesome
where I
job.
started. Okay. So I used water in the office for several years, couple years before I started trying the other products. And, I'm very healthy myself. So I had a hard time understanding how I was going to experience a difference with something if I wasn't uncomfortable in my body already, right? So like many of the stories you'll hear about products are somebody was, had sore joints or was just uncomfortable in some way in their body. And then a product helped that, right? But for me, the thing that spoke volumes was the first time I tried the sleep system, which we've already heard a little bit about, but just to add to that, I tried it for one night. I really, Sherry was like, please try it. And I was like, okay, but I don't think I'm going to see any difference. I sleep great already, right? And I already have a great bed, just like Catherine said, right? And so, but I did. I was like, well, it's not going to hurt, right? So I'll try it. And I woke up before my alarm, more alert than I had been in years at that time of the morning. And I get up pretty early. I had many dreams. And I realized when I woke up that morning, remembering all my dreams, that I really hadn't remembered a dream in years, which just told me that my level of sleep was really superficial versus deep sleep, deep healing sleep. And that sold me on it right there. And I've slept with it since. So I've upgraded as the company's upgraded. I love my new brand new one that I got just a couple months ago that's you can travel with because it's little bag. It's awesome. And so, yeah, I don't ever want to sleep without it again. In fact, I just went on a trip and circumstantially couldn't bring it with me. And the lucky person who got to cat sit at my house and sleep in that bed, I was jealous the whole time. So it's really, really amazing. And we see really positive effects with kids with, like behavior issues or who are really amped up at night and have trouble sleeping and relaxing, helping them calm before they go to sleep. So we get better quality of sleep and better healing. It's really just a benefit overall, because if you sleep better, you heal better. And that's really what we want in the end. So the sleep system, like Catherine said before, is definitely one of my favorites. And then, as a chiropractor, I see a lot of people with joint issues or sore joints or, sore back, whatever it is. And so we use a lot of the CM cream and the tape that was already mentioned in passing. Yes, there's the CM cream. CM stands for the plant that it's based on, comes from. Which is a really long name, so you don't need to worry about that. But CM is what it stands for, or is what the initials are. And it's totally amazing. So I really recommend that if anyone's coming in any kind of emergency into the office and we need to calm things down in the body in a particular area because of whatever happened in that moment. So we're really always going to recommend the CM cream to help just calm the area. And then we're going to do whatever else needs to happen, right? Whatever other home care needs to happen, but that will always speed the healing process in my experience. I also really love the duct tape. So that's dynamic underlayer kinetic tape, DUK tape. And, I feel like, support tape of different sorts you see a lot of those on the market, but I like this one the best because it's not just supportive, but it also has all the technologies that are in several of the technologies from the Nikken products. And so it also gives a nice like calming effect to the area on top of the support. My patients swear by those two products. And I can't imagine practicing without it. It's the best two things I have in practice, other than just being hydrated, like we talked about, and getting healthy sleep, right? But in the moment, when someone comes in an emergency, those are going to be my go-to. And at this point in practice, it's kind of a joke. Like people are like, I know, put tape on it. I know, put CM cream on it. But they also know it works. And that's why I don't change products. I've used the same products, the same two since they came on the market. And we've tried a million other products and they never fare as well. And what I usually find with people is that products work for some people, but not everyone. But these two products work for everyone every time. So I just stick with that, and I'm not going to keep looking elsewhere. So those would say my like 4 top favorite products. I also really like the MagFlex that we saw with the gardening story a minute ago. That's another favorite in my office. Works great for a sore, stiff area. Whether it's an emergency or preventatively, like we talked about, that's definitely a popular one. But really, we carry all the products in my office. We make them accessible. We, always have some CM cream and tape on hand because we need it so often. Everything else we just order as we need it for people, and they love it.
Thank you so much. Because this is such a treat to have you on, I would love for you to tell one more story. And that
Sure.
is because you've got some amazing stories. The category, tell a story, but something about the air filtration system.
Oh, sure. Okay. So own a wellness center. So we have chiropractic and a nutrition specialist, and we've had massage therapists, and we do ionic foot baths. We do all sorts of things in the office. And so it's a larger space and lots of energy in and out. And we're a busy practice. And so for me, it's important to make sure that we're, first of all, modeling for our patients what we want to see them doing in their lives, right? And part of that is creating a healthy home. So having the air filters, not only in my home, but also in my office, in all of our healing spaces, is really crucial to set a good example for them, and because they work. And so I actually have two quick stories about that. The first is that so years ago, I was doing some research about the negative ions and how the air filter, how that benefited, people who were using the machines. And I did a ton of research about negative ions in the air and how that affected mood and changed mood, and did kind of a deep dive on the research behind healing and how the body puts off positively charged ions, and so negatively charged ions, which is what comes off from the machine. How in healing we put off, if you will, positive ions, and that the negative ions actually come and replace and calm that space around us, right? And so quite literally, when somebody's in crisis or having a really hard time, whether that's physical or emotional, the negative ions actually, whether they're topical, like you wrap yourself in your blanket, or they're coming from the air filter, are literally helping to calm the system on a physiological level. And so I was like, well, this is crazy cool. And so I was, I kind of learned about that, and then it was in the back of my mind somewhere, and I was like, I don't know how to test that or anything, but this is a cool thought. And then I was in the office one day, and I was between patients. I'm standing by the air filter, and I was reading something, and it was rather upsetting. And I noticed that the air filter turned way up and turned bright red. And I was like, no way, that can't be related to how I'm feeling right now, right? And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna calm down and I'm just gonna meditate for a minute. And immediately it goes blue and it turns down again. And I was like, okay, that has to be coincidental, right? And so I was like, I'm just going to go back to what I was doing. And I start reading the thing again, and I can feel myself getting worked up, and immediately red, it goes high, negative ions come on. I put my reading away. I calm myself, blue. And I see it all the time in the office. So we have one in the adjusting room, for example, and people love it when they're like, oh, it turned red, I'm doing really good healing. It's kind of a joke around there because they get it. They're like, the negative ions help replace and cancel out in a good way the positive ions that are coming off someone as they're doing good work like that, good healing. So I definitely, after that, bought one and put one in every healing space, healing room in the center. And in the waiting room and everywhere else I can fit one. So that was, I think, pretty cool and says a lot. The other one is that, we've been in a weird time these last couple years, and, our practice as a essential office stayed open the entire time. And we were able to really keep everyone super healthy. And that's, for such a stressful couple years that we've had, that's so important. So to create a space where people feel safe coming in, a lot of that right now is about the quality of the air. And because we were already educating about how great these systems are and how powerful they are and what they're doing for the air and what they're doing for our bodies, people felt comfortable coming in. And we were able to keep our clientele super healthy throughout the last 2 years, despite what may be going on in their home or around them. And I feel like a lot of that is because we have those air filters everywhere.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.